Hello everyone, I'm Brian, and today I'm going to be going over my new test list, which I've actually already played. I was just late at recording this. I created this list before I played it, after the Dataslate update. And this is the new list that I wanted to test, and I have tested. So let's look at it. So this is my experimental list. This is just the units that are in it, not necessarily the number of them. A lot of the points dropped in my core units, which was great. So here are my key pushers. So, of course, Crisis Suit is going to be the big pushers in your army. Then Ghost Kill along with Shadow Sun leading these two units, and essentially them. And this kind of formation too. If this is the table and this is the table edge right below Shadow Sun, and this is the table edge, people, even if they were to deep strike something, these Ghost Kills and Crisis Suits will be able to provide a little buffer that they'll be outside of 12 inches of her so that she cannot be shot. These are the equipments of both the Ghost Kills and both groups of Crisis Suit. I am a Plasma Man now in 10th edition. In 9th, I was cyclic all the way, overcharging every single time. But not so much anymore because I tend to roll ones. Anyways, it's not necessarily that I have Shadow Sun leading all this. It's too much firepower in one side of the field. I'll get flanked. So this is more than likely it's one Ghost Kill and one Crisis Suit leading the front, Ghost Kill in the back because of Lone Operative. The other Crisis Suit will be in Deep Strike. And then kind of reinforcing Shadow Sun whenever this Crisis Suit gets damaged. It comes into play. The Crisis Suit can retreat back into holding objectives or still pushing forward with Shadow Sun. And one of the Ghost Kill will be in the opposite end, trying to kind of hold off whatever's advancing over there. And this other Ghost Kill providing a little bit of a support in the back line so that they can't flank my Shadow Sun to take her out. And I think I really kind of like the Ghost Kill now a little bit, even though I didn't run it initially before the points drop. The reason why being it's such an expensive unit for merely a mediocre damage in some degrees. But whenever I ran my Skyray into a unit of Terminators without Power Fist, I realized that I could use this Ghost Kill to charge and hold up units. And then the next turn, this Ghost Kill charges a unit, holds them up, falls back, we all shoot, and this second Ghost Kill could charge to tie it up so it can't shoot during their shooting phase unless they fall back. Unless they have pistols, which generally are going to be strength 4, toughness 8, so they're going to be wounding on 6s. So that's my intent with the Ghost Kill. But anyways, I wanted Shadow Sun to leave that back line. I wanted her to do more than just sit there and look pretty and provide that reroll ones in the back. So I wanted to test out this list. By the way, there's no commander besides Shadow Sun. There's no Crisis Commander or Cold Star or Enforcer Commander. This is literally the army right here, minus the amount I have. So 6-man, and Ghost Kill. You see what they have. Fusion Blasters, just because all the other guns are your short range anyway. And if need be, if I need to take out more tanks and I can get in close without Ghost Kill, I got the Fusion Blasters for that. All plasmas. And actually, I used to have battle support system in all of them, but I decided to go all guns now. More firepower, baby, more firepower. And here's my broadsides. I have 2 broadsides in 1 unit. So in the broadside are equipped the same weapon support system, so they could ignore hit modifiers and a seeker missile. Skyray gunships. You can't really equip them with anything other than that. I was thinking Twin Smart Missile System, although I may take a look at no, actually I was thinking about looking at the gun drones instead, but I think missile system's a little bit better. They have an ability that allows them to reroll hit rolls, all hit rolls, any number of hit rolls against flying units, and there are some flying units out there and it's really great. I mean, these things have 3 shots, strength 14, AP 3, damage D6 plus 1. And these are fantastic all-arounders. There are toughness 10, wounds 14. I mean, it's pretty good. These, I think they're comparable in terms of points and damage output. It's just that I think with 2 of these, you just have a little bit more wounds, 20 wounds as opposed to 14, but you have toughness 6 as opposed to toughness 10. Well, you would have 4 shots over here because each rail rifle is 2 shots. This only has 3, but I think in terms of points, this has better output per points, but this has less wounds per points. This has higher toughness per points. So, you know, it's kind of a, I think in my opinion, very even. Although this has an ability to re-roll 1 hit roll or 1 wound roll. And again, if you're shooting against flying targets, you get to reroll all the hit rolls. So here's the objective holders, as I call them. Or, man, did I even say these things are the backline support? So essentially, they're just going to sit back there and provide long-range firepower, obviously. And also screening so people don't deep strike behind me. And these are my objective holders and action doers. These are kind of like the last resort on the right, and then the one that you want to do it initially is the ethereal, fire team, and the Crute hounds to do actions. And these 2, of course, can hold objectives. The Crute hound cannot, so he can perform an action. So the ethereal is equipped with a gun drone and a shield drone, because with a gun drone you can advance and still perform an action, because technically the ethereal is equipped with an assault weapon, the gun drone. The Farsight team is, if you can pick out characters with it, that's great. It's more than likely going to be sitting on a home objective or doing certain objectives in the corners or something. Same thing with the Crute hounds, again for screening purposes as well. There's really not much you can really modify there. The Pathfinder team right here. Well, actually, I meant to put 3 rail rifles here. I forgot to put that on there, but I did run 3 rail rifles. And then the stealth suits, they're all equipped the same. The fusion blaster and the leader. I did a marker drone and a gun drone on this squad too, so that I can advance and still perform an action or still do the marker light. The marker drone allows you to advance and perform a marker light action, but nothing else. The gun drone allows you to advance and perform an action. So the cool thing is that with your Fire Warriors team, you don't really care to have a marker light drone because they have the marker light keyword. But because you don't have assault weapons, you give them the gun drone. Technically, they can shoot, so technically they can do the marker light action, because they're still at least one model is technically allowed to perform an action. So I'll run 3 stealth suits, 1 pathfinders, and 1 of each of these. So for the greater good units, from left to right is the best to do. Stealth suits, in my opinion, are the best because they have the ability called forward observers. Each time this unit is the observer unit until the end of that phase. Each time a range attack is made by the model in their guided unit that targets their spotted unit, reroll a wound roll of 1. That is so good. And Pathfinders, they're the second, well, Tetris might be the second best, but I didn't run them because I needed a little bit more spotting power. Tetris allows you to reroll all the hit rolls, which with Shadow Sun being close by and the Sky Race ability to reroll the hit rolls against flying units, I didn't need that many, although I would have loved to have one, but 80 points for 1 extra spot or 10 more points for 90 points total for the Pathfinders, allowing to spot 2 units. Then you can use Shadow Sun as a spotter, a Farsight team, which also has the marker light keyword. She does not, though. And then Ghost Kill as your last result, because they are not exactly, great damage dealers. They can dish out some damage. They can hold up. They can tie up a unit. But if you can spot for them, make them a guided unit, that'd be great, but not necessary. So the pairings, usually I have the stealth suits with the broadsides and the gunships. Targeting array, each time this model is selected to shoot, you can reroll one hit roll or you can reroll one wound roll when resolving these attacks. Is great for the sky rays. Then the broadsides with the heavy rail rifle, devastating wounds now just ignores armor saves in general, but still get to feel no pain. And again, with the forward observer, just rerolling ones with these two weapons, strength 12 and strength 14. Generally speaking, you'll be wounding on 3+. And here's how I would normally do the pairings. First turn is going to be generally these things with long range. And then Shadow Sun and Fireside Team for ghost kills if needed. And Pathfinders for the 2 crisis suits. But the crisis suits kind of belong along with the stealth suits, because strength 8 plasma, you'll be wounding on 3+ generally speaking as well. It all depends on where you're at, what you have left alive. One of the Skyray gunships is going to die, and maybe even a stealth suit will die, because they're so fragile, and there's only 3 models, and if you don't position them right, you could end up losing the entire squad. So just be mindful. I used initial turns is going to be this pairing, and then stealth suits with crisis suits as well, because again, plasma, strength 8, don't have to worry about overcharging, AP 3, damage 3, fantastic. Ghost kills, it's going to be like this: Pathfinders, Fireside, or Commander Shadow Sun if I can. But these things will be the last things I will guide. Priorities are the Skyray gunships, the broadside, and a crisis suit. I will more than likely never ever spot for Shadow Sun unless I just so happen to run out, or I have spare, should I say, and the Fireside Team, because the weapon is strength 5, AP 1, damage 2, I believe. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. 3 shots, precision, heavy. You know, it's if you spot for this guy, you can actually reroll all the hit rolls, but not the damage rolls. So unless it's really necessary, you know, to guide with maybe the stealth suit, if you really want to take out a character, you can. But it's more than likely just an objective holder, or perform an action. That's all it really is for me. Alright, and that's the end of that. So, I did already play a game with this build. I will talk all about it in that video with the video itself. So I did record it, and with the points and everything. So anyways, I guess I'll talk a little bit more about this. I really, whenever I first built this, I felt naked without a crisis commander, because with one of the crisis suits being in deep strike, so that, you know, not everything's on the board, because I have to try to hide as much models as possible in turn 1 if I don't get it. If I don't get first turn, and if my opponent hides his models really well. But one of the crisis suits is going to be out in turn 2, will drop in. Shadow Sun will be leading a crisis suit and a ghost kill, while the other ghost kill will be on the other side. But Shadow Sun pushing forward felt very vulnerable, and without a crisis commander leading one of my crisis battle suit, I felt like I wasn't able to go as offensive as I liked, because, you know, I have to keep my crisis suits with Shadow Sun to get the rerolls. Now I don't have to do that. I always put a crisis suit in the back in reserves as a bluff, you could say, to say, oh, I'm going to deep strike behind you, you know, be careful. Which you still can. You don't have to have your crisis suit with the Commander Shadow Sun, but they become more lethal if you can re-roll some of your misses. And with your wounds as well, with the stealth suits here. So Shadow Sun's re-rolling 1s to hit, stealth suits re-rolling 1s to wound. It's just nice to get a lot of re-rolls in here. So anyways, I really felt kind of naked without a crisis commander in one of this. And then these guys without the ability to reroll 1s or any kind of hit rolls unless they're flying units with the Skyray gunship, kind of felt like I could be losing some firepower. So if you have a lot of backline heavy supports, you may want to keep Shadow Sun in the back. Which I think the new list that I'm going to make to try out again will be something along those lines. Some of my older plays in my YouTube channel, you'll see how I kind of played some of my older lists. So a crisis suit with missile pods instead, and then a crisis suit with plasmas with a crisis commander that deep strikes either behind it, wherever I need to apply pressure, or to apply pressure and to hopefully reduce the flanks of something. But anyways, this list wasn't too bad, and when you see the video, when I release that video, it's almost, I have to edit it and do voiceover on it. It's kind of the army I played against. It's kind of like a stat check for something. I'm not going to spoil it. But anyways, I did like this list. It was actually pretty good, but the army I played against was rough. It was rough. So anyways, that's all I have to say about this. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.